All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving deep into something that I know stresses a lot of people out, the Cambridge Placement Test. Yeah, just the name can make your stomach do a little flip, right? But don't you worry, because you are in exactly the right place to get a handle on it.
So, that feeling, that little knot of anxiety you get before a big test, totally normal. But what if you could swap that anxiety for, say, a secret playbook? That's exactly what we're building today. By the end of this, you're going to have the strategies, the secrets, everything you need to walk in there feeling totally prepared and, dare I say it, confident.
So here's the plan. First, we'll figure out what this test is all about. Then we'll tackle reading and grammar, move on to listening and writing, build your ultimate game plan, and, my favorite part, finish with some secret exam day tricks. Let's jump right in.
Okay, Section 1. What is the placement test? Think of this as your mission briefing. You got to know the objective before you can make a plan of attack.
So let's get one thing straight right away. This isn't some big scary monster you have to beat. The Cambridge Placement Test is actually, well, it's smart. It's an adaptive test, which means it adjusts to you to find your exact English level. And this is huge. It's not about passing or failing. It's about getting you placed accurately. See? The pressure's already coming down, isn't it?
Okay, let's break this down. As you can see, we're talking about 4 main sections: reading, grammar, listening, and writing. The whole thing's over in about an hour, give or take. Your score lands somewhere between 0 and 100, and that number lines up perfectly with the official levels, from A1 all the way up to C2. Nice and simple, right? Totally manageable.
All right, let's get into the real meat of the test, mastering reading and grammar. This is the core challenge where you'll spend a good bit of your time, so having a rock-solid strategy is, well, non-negotiable.
Okay, for reading, it's all about being efficient. Here are 3 killer moves. First, skim. Don't just dive in. Read the titles. Read the first line of each paragraph. It gives you the gist instantly. Second, become a keyword hunter. Look at the question, grab the keywords, and then go looking for them in the text. And for the love of all that is holy, do not get stuck. If a question is taking you more than a minute, flag it and move on. Seriously, you can always come back later. Now for grammar and vocab, this is all about pattern recognition. These 3 power plays are going to help you big time. First, get a handle on affixes. You know, prefixes like un or suffixes like tation. It's like having a decoder ring for new words. Second, when you get those keyword transformations, be surgical. Focus on changing only what you absolutely have to. And third, practice your collocations. These are just words that naturally go together, and they're easy points if you know them.
And check this out. This is a perfect example of what I mean by collocations. These are the little traps people fall into all the time. Do you make a decision or do a decision? You make one. Do you make your homework? Nope, you do your homework. Getting these pairs right isn't just about points. It makes your English sound way more natural.
Okay, time to switch gears. Let's talk about acing, listening, and writing. This is where you go from just understanding the language to actually producing it. This is your communication test, and here's how you're going to nail it. Listen up, because this is key for the listening section. Your most important work happens in the silence before the audio starts. Use every single second of it to read the questions. It tells your brain exactly what to listen for. Then, when the audio is playing, jot down key stuff. Names, numbers, places, whatever. And keep your ears peeled for distractor words. They're put in there specifically to throw you off. And for writing, 120. That's it. That's your target. We're not talking about writing a novel here. We're talking about a short, sharp email or maybe a little opinion piece. About 120 words. Totally doable. Want the plan for a perfect written response? Here it is. Step 1. Structure is everything. Don't just dive in and write. Plan a simple intro, a body, and a conclusion. It takes 30 seconds, and it's worth it. Step 2. Use connectors. Words like however, therefore, furthermore, they are absolute gold. They make you sound proficient. And step 3, the final review. You have to save the last 2 or 3 minutes to check for silly spelling mistakes or wrong verb tenses. It's a lifesaver. Okay, so we've broken down all the sections. Now let's zoom out and put together your ultimate game plan. These are the general tips that are going to push your score into the high zone. Look, these 4 things right here, this is what separates a good score from a great score. First, you gotta manage your time. Wear a watch. Stick to your plan. Second, run a simulation. Do a full practice test under the same time pressure. No surprises on game day. Third, brush up on thematic vocabulary like phrasal verbs. And finally, just relax. Breathe. A clear mind makes way fewer stupid mistakes.
And here's another magic number for you. 5. That's how many minutes you should try to have left at the very end. Think of it as your safety net. It's your golden opportunity to go back and catch those little errors that are so easy to make when you're in a rush.
All right, let's get to the good stuff. The secret exam day tricks. This is the insider's edge, the stuff that most people don't think about.
Okay, secret number 1. Beware the trap question. The people who make these tests, they're clever. They'll put an answer as option A that looks so good, so right, and your brain wants to just click it and move on. Don't fall for it. Read every single option, because sometimes option C or D is even better, even more precise. This one habit alone will save you from making easy mistakes.
Secret number 2 is all about distractor words. I'm talking about words like always, never, everybody. These are what we call absolute words, and they are huge red flags. They can turn a mostly true statement into a false one. So the second you see one of those words, your brain should go, wait a minute, and you need to double-check that sentence. It's often the key to the whole question.
And this last one, this is your secret weapon for when you're truly completely stuck on a reading question. Now, this isn't science, but it's a good rule of thumb. Often the correct answer has to be longer and more detailed just so it's technically undeniable. So, if you are forced to guess, picking the longest, most specific option is a surprisingly good bet. It's a calculated risk that can pay off.
So there you have it. You've got the strategies, you have the secrets, you are absolutely prepared. We've taken this thing apart piece by piece, and now you know exactly how it works. You're not just walking in blind anymore.
You now have the playbook, the whole thing. That test isn't some big, scary unknown anymore. It's a puzzle, and you have the solution. So the real question is, are you ready to go claim your score? Because you've absolutely got this.